Lucha Country!
Welcome to Riot 611. We keep rolling on, and we are welcoming the return of one of the hottest tag teams, not just in OCW history, but in pro wrestling history. Made their mark a number of years ago, and boss, they have reunited to take down a common enemy. Aries, the world champion support system. G.S.S, Amart, and KCB.
You like to call it G.S.S. I call it ASS, AS, the Aries Ass Society. They agreed to totally agree in agreement. But also in agreement is that Lucha Country comes together and it's rather somber. This should be a more joyous occasion, but it's under somber circumstances, I guess. The energy is a little weird right now. Well, they have that cohesion that they had once upon a time back in the revolutionary tag team era of OCW.
Of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water?
Apropos song, Jake.
And there are the two, KCB, or as his, I guess, new father figure Aries calls him, initials, with the newest member of the GSS after his shocking turn, taking down El Parca, what was supposed to be a tag team match where they were partners. They now stand on opposite sides. And boss, the question about Lucha Country is a good one. Will they have that cohesion? They certainly had it the last time they reformed to take on CQC. But this is a different ball game right now. It is a little more somber. This is a little more serious, a little less showcase. We're about to find out what all four of these men are made of as we are just 8 days away from OCW Hard Target. I can't wait.
KCB, GSS, LMNOP, initials.
Oh.
Look at KCB or KC Barrett trying to play some game.
Look at this.
Little mind games worked out for them, Jake.
Certainly
Allen.
some mind games going back and forth now. KCB and Anthony Martin. And you see the referee counting right now. This has to be some kind of game plan they came in with. KCB is not the legal man. Anthony Martin is the legal man, and more mind games as El Parca returns to the ring for the first time since placing himself in the crowd. A spectacular moment there, looking to play some mind games of his own. Anthony Martin still reluctant to get in the ring.
You say mind games. I say I don't think Anthony Martin knows not what he does. Anthony Martin was a dim bulb in 2009, and 13 years later, Anthony Martin continues to be a dim bulb in the new modern era.
No doubt about that.
That's just my opinion.
Oh!
I could be wrong, but often I'm not. Nice stomp by.
Oh, look, Casey is just throwing hands and feet at everybody to cover in the opposing corner. It is just a 1 count. And a lot of criticism from you about Anthony Martin before and after he super kicked El Parca in the face, caused him to miss a lot of time after that.
I'm not a big fan of El Parca. You know that for sure. I don't like El Parca. I don't trust him, but he's gotten the short end of the stick, and that I can appreciate in the sense that, you know, sometimes you get done wrong. I mean, he deserves it, definitely, but still. There are limits to depravity, and I think that we've reached those limits. And speaking of depravity, Jesus Christ.
Look out! Cannonball! Mark Reese! Down goes KCB! The cover, and boss, they may have answered your question about cohesion as Barrett able to get the shoulder up quickly.
R.I.P. KCB, perhaps?
They're going for more tag team action right now. Asked and answered. Lucha Country is back in full effect. Squishing KCB, and I'm sure they're not done yet.
Jesus.
Get me up, big buddy. The scooplex on the midsection of KCB, and now the cover. And again, just a 1 count.
All it takes is 3 seconds for that 3-second tam. But right now, I like saying KCB. I just rolled off the tongue, but KC Barrett's having some trouble with El Parker. These two went to war a couple months ago, and El Parker was victorious. Other than that 2-on-1 handicap match that we spoke about earlier, or rather that Fox tag match back some months ago. But now it seems that KCB's having some issues, and if he's going to be the stalwart for his team, then he's got to work cut out for him with a guy like Anthony Martin just waiting in the wings.
And you know that El Parka has referenced that showdown with KCB that started this whole thing before Resolution, attacking Dennis Dillinger even. El Parka said that's in Anthony Martin's future as well, the fate that KCB suffered. But right now, the only one suffering is El Parka as he misses a big-time dive and gets caught with a drop kick. And you see how quickly he retreated when Mark Reese got in the ring. Oh! And right when he turns his back, eyes in the back of their head for everybody. And the cheap shot on Mark Reese, at least, was met with that tiger suplex. An excellent bridge, but only a 1-count, boss.
KCB's in charge. Look at him. El Parker wants a piece of Anthony Martin.
Oh, and he's going to get one.
Shall get.
And now both. Some indie-rific action right there. I'm not sure what Anthony Martin was thinking, going to the top rope, maybe trying to ambush El Parka. But he is a luchador. Oh, man. This time trying to ambush A-Mart. That didn't work. And now giving him the business on the outside of the ring. Mark Reese is helpless to do anything about it.
Not a good idea. Focus on your opponent in the ring. If he gets in the ring, then you knock him on his ass. But if he's outside, you do what you got to do and ignore his ass.
He is right back in the ring, and you saw KCB throwing some shade there to Mark Reese. Nearly got caught in a roll-up. And look how much El Parker wants to get his hands on Anthony Martin. He's not alone there, Jason Sensation.
No, he's not. Anthony Martin, a wanted man. In trouble, and if he makes that tag to Anthony Martin, then he'll get his hands on him for the first time in about 4 weeks, Jake Allen. That might be a significant temperature change in the match.
No doubt about it. We know we've learned a lot about OCW Hard Target. Championships will be defended. 10 spectacular matches coming up in 8 days. Saturday, October 21st, live on twitch.tv/OCWFED. Be there, and be there for this! Dea de la Muerta in the opposing corner on KCB, and it was nearly enough. Martin was getting involved just in case, and for the first time all match, or, nearly, Mark Reese is going to tag back in. Had a brief
Mark
moment.
Reese is saying, get into this ring. This ring is his sanctum. That's always gimmick, but you get the idea. Clean off his shoes. Jesus Christ, Mark Reese.
Hey, the number one contender for the World Championship. Owen has had his own run-ins with Mark Reese in the past. I'd like to think each man has learned a thing or two from one another, so I'd call it appropriate. Mark Reese finally in the ring and is now going to be chucking folks to and fro. And Jason Sensation, this is what we saw in the old Lucha Country days. El Parka starts, Mark Reese finishes the job.
A thing or two about a thing or two, and it's all been basically KC Barrett versus the world right now. AMR needs to get that tag in. KCB needs to make that tag to Anthony Martin if he wants to. Not the villainous and the violence and the poisonous of the poison runners, Jake Allen. And now, speaking of poison, here comes this nasty man.
And you can tell this was all in Anthony Martin's game plan, running away from El Parka the entire time, barely getting inside the ring. And then the moment Mark Reese is down and vulnerable, thanks to KCB's Poison Rana, here comes A-Mart to try and pick at the scraps, pick at the bones like the vulture he is.
He's always been a scavenger, so might as well be consistent. That's one thing about Anthony Martin. He is consistently a scavenger, a vulture, if you will, like you said, Jake Allen. Speaking of, trying to pick them big old, thick old, meaty, meaty bones, them delectable bones of Mark Reese.
Is he going to figure four his knees around the post?
It's a big word. Oh, twisting them up, Jake. Twisting them up, Jesus.
And Mark Reese just plants himself on the ground, trying to get out of that figure four hold.
Smart.
Yeah, definitely smart. Mark Reese is definitely very top heavy. That's where he gets a lot of his strength. And if he doesn't have his legs under him, he can't do things like that. Anthony Martin dropped near the apron. The count has reached 4 now, boss. And there goes A-Mart.
Yeah, it's smart. Mark Reese basically just a cement block with arms at this point in his career. Speaking of cement block, looks like Anthony Martin's trying to break that cement with some atomic drops, some Manhattan drops, if you nasty.
And you know
on
I
the
am.
little chicken wings of Mark Reese, some chicken giblets, if you will. Tag team action, perhaps. Maybe not.
And now up to the second turnbuckle, and an elbow right between the shoulder blades, attacking that spine, is Anthony Martin. He and Mark Reese have been legal for a while now. Here's the cover. One. El Parka firing up this capacity Madison Square Garden crowd for his big
Dingo Bomber impression. Jesus Christ.
And speaking of that, Mark Reese has got problems on his own. He and B17 have gone back and forth a number of times over the last few weeks. And, of course, B17 showing up to threaten Mark Reese after his last loss in the main event. So an interesting dynamic to watch for there as we continue the main event. A big pounce, and KCB nearly left this orbit. Nearly thrown to the next galaxy was Initials. Reese got him back to his feet. The kick up on the shoulder. It's Slaminator time.
His ass almost went to Turmoil 305.
Here's the cover. 1-2. And KC Barrettt able to kick out of the Slaminator. He had a lot of time to rest on the apron before that tandem offense with he and A-Mart. It looks like they want some tandem offense of their own.
He's gonna try, came up short, but right now Lucha Country working pretty well as a team, I'd say. Oh, look at them big shots, Jake Ellis.
You don't want to get hit with those haymakers. He is putting all of his weight into those roundhouse, those big arms, and now squatting his opponent for the power slam, and he is not done, boss.
Look at that, he wasn't playing some games, trying to get some money, maybe a distraction, if you will. Got his hand out, not that it's gonna do any good that far away. And speaking of, it looks like Casey's about to get folded. He just did get folded. Good heavens, Jake Allen. Good God.
Folded like Mateo's favorite instrument, the accordion. Now into the corner goes KC Barrettt. Mark Reese, a big scoop to the down. And look at this. Over top of Mark Reese, the 450 splash. Beautiful tandem offense there. Reese still the legal man. The cover. 1, 2, 3. What a beautiful maneuver. El Parka 450 splash over the top of Mark Reese, and Lucha Country picks up another win.
Well, any doubt about ring rust has soon been alleviated, Jake Allen. Lucha Country is victorious.
And now both of these men with just 8 days until OCW's biggest event here in October, OCW Hard Target, are walking in with a hell of a lot of momentum. But the G.S.S.
look at that.
We saw last week, Mass Effect joining the GOAT support system. And they know a thing or two about ASS, but they apparently wanted to join in on the fun. Here comes the ass effect.
Speaking of ass, we got Devon Flash and Ryvon.
And you got to think this is on orders of the world champion. As now Anthony Martin reaching at El Parka. Mark Reese doesn't notice it. The G.S.S. is surrounding the ring.
Like vultures in the numbers game, once you have the numerical advantage, well, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Oh, and now despite the win, Lucha Country looking to walk into Hard Target with all of the momentum in the world, and instead they are ambushed by this group of cowards.
Well, Jake Allen, you could say that Lucha Country has a hard target on their back. See what I did there? Hard target, you get it.
That's why you're the best in the biz. The flashbang drops Mark Reese as KCB and Anthony Martin continue to pound away on El Park on the outside. And there's the man himself, the OCW World Champion. You knew he had to be the one who called this hit.
Well, you know, that's what he does, Jake Allen. That's what he does. He sits there, he gets sycophants and followers to do whatever he wants, and then he disappears like a spooky ghost. And speaking of disappears, about to make Mark Reese's face disappear with that, super kick.
The Golden Years super kick.
Torn his ACL, Jake Allen.
Aries has really bloviated a lot of his claims since returning and becoming the OCW World Champion at Summerside. Now look on the outside. KC Barrettt flattening El Parka, dropping him head first. 5-on-2. Of course, these cowards have to go to these lengths. Aries he's got his hand in every cookie pot in this damn company.
Hey, he's nasty like that. He got a finger on me though, but right now the The ASS is whooping on Lucha Country. And speaking of, these two got a little personal beef with each other. El Parker and Aries. Aren't they not allowed to touch each other, Jake Allen? What's the contract say? Somebody about to get sued.
Oh, and now a shot to the back and a shot to the front. The contract, a one-way, saying El Parker can't touch Aries. But, that violin can only mean one thing. The man looking to track down Stephen McCallum, a.k.a. Aries, not just for
He's surveying the background, Jake. I'll take it a sweet time because it's still a numbers advantage for the G.S.S., the ASS, however you want to be now.
Oh, look out! Owen has made his way to the ring, and he is not surveying any longer. The Golden Year super kick misses, and Aries and Owen going for it just 8 days before hard target. Could this be the ghost to sleep? No!
There's a fracas on the outside right now between Lucha Country and the ASS. Oh!
Whoa, and that chop.
Trying to avoid getting his titties chopped. Ghost fingers.
And Aries gonna run away like a coward.
Jesus.
Continuing the same actions. He left one thing behind. And if he doesn't wise up to the power of that chop, if he doesn't wise up to the determination of Owen, this could be the sight. 8 days, OCW Hard Target live on twitch.tv/OCWFED, 3 p.m. Eastern.
We could very well have ourselves a new OCW World Champion in Owen, but we gonna find out. As Jake said, Hard Target, October 21st, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One more time if you didn't get the memo. Hard Target. It's a target on your back, and they aiming for you. It's dangerous outside. Don't go outside. Stay inside. And stay inside with us on OCWFED on twitch.tv.